Welcome to His Word Heals. You can also visit us online at www.hiswordheals.com for all of our past programs, a Healing Scriptures CD, 2 books, and Revelation time charts. Today I'm going to read you a letter to a Montana newspaper editor, and then you can do your own research and talk to your doctors and see what you might need to do in order to help combat COVID-19 and stay healthy overall this winter. Dear editor, we've been told that the best way to combat COVID-19 is to stay home and, if we do have to go out, then mask up and social distance. Is this really the best or only way to fight COVID while we wait for a vaccine to quote-unquote protect us? Actually, no. In reality, the best thing we can do to help prevent COVID and every other disease is to build our own God-given immune systems with healthy food, fresh air, exercise, and sunshine. Staying indoors and covering every inch of our bodies, including our faces when we do venture outside, can in fact be counterproductive to our physical well-being. It is a scientific fact that higher blood oxygen levels increase our overall health and our body's ability to function and heal properly. This is the reason critically ill patients are often administered oxygen, and even sports figures utilize hyperbaric chambers to be bathed in high oxygen concentrations when recovering from injuries. Breathing stale indoor air and, according to many doctors and common sense, rebreathing our own exhaled carbon dioxide can reduce our blood oxygen levels and cause a multitude of ailments over the long term. Then, without sunshine on our skin, we cannot produce vitamin D, which has been scientifically shown to be a critical component of good health. Most significantly, according to many scientific and medical websites, vitamin D deficiencies have been a major factor in many severe COVID patients. For instance, ScienceDaily.com says vitamin D levels appear to play a role in COVID-19 mortality rates. Patients with severe deficiency are twice as likely to experience major complications. When I recently asked one of the doctors present at an area virtual county health board meeting about these COVID vitamin D studies, she confirmed that yes, most people in Montana probably are vitamin D deficient because we don't get much sun in Montana. She also said they do use vitamin D supplementation as a help in treating severe COVID cases because these patients usually are vitamin D deficient. I then suggested that perhaps it would be a good idea, along with their mask advisory postings, to include this information with a recommendation for folks to have their vitamin D levels checked. Surprisingly, or not, she didn't think that was a good idea. She said that most people already consult with their doctors on their health and that vitamin D toxicity is very dangerous, suggesting that some people might take too much vitamin D. What? Which is more dangerous, COVID or vitamin D? Staying indoors and not getting air or sunshine are proven to be detrimental to our health in the long run, as is rebreathing our own carbon dioxide. Vaccines are admittedly dangerous, and the ones coming are even experimental and unproven over the long term. The health departments, however, still recommend all of the above in spite of the dangers. Yet, even considering how severe COVID can be in some people, this doctor didn't think it was a good idea to inform the community about the link between severe COVID and vitamin D deficiencies because of the remote, as you will see, possibility of vitamin D toxicity. Really? I looked up vitamin D toxicity on scientific and health websites, and this is what livescience.com has to say about it in an article from May in 2015, entitled, "Can Too Much Vitamin D Be Toxic?" Quote, researchers analyzed information from more than 20,000 vitamin D blood tests performed over a 10-year period. They looked to see how many people had high vitamin D levels. The researchers also found that the proportion of people with high vitamin D levels increased considerably during the study period, from 9 per 100,000 people in 2002 to 233 per 100,000 people in 2011. This spike is likely due to an increase in people taking vitamin D supplements. Despite this increase, the people in the study rarely experienced hypercalcemia, which is vitamin D toxicity, or high blood calcium levels that can occur as a result of high vitamin D levels. In fact, there was no link between people's vitamin D levels and their blood calcium levels. We found that even in those with high levels of vitamin D, over 50 ng/ml, There was not an increased risk of hypercalcemia or elevated serum calcium with increasing levels of vitamin D. Study co-author Dr. Thomas D. Thatcher, a family medicine expert at Mayo Clinic, said in a statement, "The study identified just 4 cases over the 10-year period of people who had hypercalcemia associated with high vitamin D levels. There was just 1 case of true vitamin D toxicity in a 51-year-old woman who had vitamin D levels of 364 ng/ml. The woman had taken 50,000 international units of vitamin D per day for 3 months, along with calcium supplements, and went to the doctor with weight loss, vomiting, and confusion. The recommended upper limit for vitamin D supplementation is 4,000 IU per day." The study was published in the May issue of the journal Mayo Clinic Proceedings. So perhaps we should be asking our personal physicians about vitamin D supplementation after all. Sounds a lot less deadly than severe COVID and much safer than a brand new mRNA, messenger RNA, which delivers information to your DNA vaccine that has been fast-tracked. Before supplementing with vitamin D or any other vitamin or medication, you should certainly do your research and or ask your doctor. If you do choose to take high levels of vitamin D, I found information that you should probably also supplement with vitamin K. Again, ask your doctor. Another article at healthline.com has this to say about preventing vitamin D toxicity. One symptom of extremely high vitamin D levels, toxicity, is hypercalcemia, a condition characterized by excessively high levels of calcium in the blood. Vitamin K deficiency is associated with BVC, which is the vitamin D toxicity. Observational studies have linked low vitamin K levels to an increased risk of blood vessel calcification. Vitamin K supplements may reduce BVC in humans. Put simply, vitamin D toxicity may cause blood vessel calcification, while vitamin K may help prevent this from happening. Again, we need to check with our doctors, especially if we are older or on any medications, as I also found that vitamin K can interfere with blood thinners. However, regarding COVID safety and prevention measures, we also need to do our own research because unfortunately our pharmaceutical company-trained health officials aren't always giving us the entire truth or facts for our own safety. I, for one, believe when we do have all the facts, we are better equipped as free and intelligent adult individuals to make our own health choices and decisions rather than blindly and obediently masking up or staying home until we are ushered into line to roll up our sleeves and be injected with the next experimental concoction. We are fearfully and wonderfully made by our Creator. With the proper fuel and care, our bodies can stay healthy and serve us well for a long and happy lifetime. Blessings and shalom to all of you and everyone in your home.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.